Hello, friends. It's me, Christiana Gaudet, and it is time for a Global Tarot Circle on Facebook Live. If you are watching in archive on YouTube or Facebook, we welcome you, but I'm especially excited to see all of my friends here live. We will be here for an hour, as we do once a month. We will do readings, and then we will do some informal tarot study. Let me say hi to some of the people here. Lori Hahn, nice to see you. Alicia Cassie, happy to see you. Karen Winkle, Julie Barrett, so happy to see you all. Barbara O'Brien is here, and she's already got an idea. How can we use the cards to point out health issues? I say this because I know a lot of people are going through a lot of stuff emotionally and physically in this pandemic, and they may be looking to the cards for some answers. We can certainly talk about that. Erica, nice to see you. Jessica, nice to see you. So, the way we work here, hey, Melanie, happy to see you. Claire Carter, glad you're here. Okay, so the way we work is we're going to spend our first half hour doing readings. This is an opportunity, if you are a reader, to sharpen your speed reading skills. And this is a nice way to share energy across the planet. We have people here from all over. Marion is here from Scotland. I think it's about midnight there for her, so we appreciate her staying up. Betty is here. Irene is here. Laura, great to see you. Aloha to you in Hawaii. Dave is here. Glad to see you all. So, Heidi Webster, nice to see you. Allison Spokes, glad you're here. So the way we do readings here, and perhaps you've experienced this before or have played with this on our YouTube meetups. Alicia's already here with his question. Very well done. If you have your cards, get them shuffled. What's going to happen is anyone who has a burning question, a question for a room full of tarot readers, go ahead and ask it. If it is a question about tarot reading, about a particular card, about a particular method, such as Barbara has asked, we're going to do that in the second half. If you have a question for a reading, Amy Mauser, we have missed you. Glad you're here for a minute, but we will look forward to seeing you when you can stay for longer. Okay, so if you have a question for a reading, what's going to happen is I'm going to go through it. I'm going to try to take them in order. I'm going to do one card. And any of you who are readers too, who have your cards, are welcome to add a card. So this way, everyone who gets a reading not just from me, but from the whole group all over the world. So if you ask a question, make sure you scroll through and look for all the answers. That way, it's like we're doing a giant tarot spread all together for each question. Now, if you are reading, I move through this very quickly. I've been doing this for a long time, and it is much easier to talk than it is to type. So if you find it's moving very quickly, go ahead and do every other one, or just do the ones that you feel like you want to. That's perfectly okay. So there's a specific format. When you do a reading for someone, you put their name, the name of the card you got, and the interpretation. So today we are looking for questions. It can be as simple as, what does the universe want me to know? Or it can be a more specific question. Go ahead and ask. And again, if you have a question for tarot, about tarot. If you have a question for tarot, we're going to handle that in the first half hour. If you have a question about tarot, about a particular card, a reading technique, we're going to handle that in the second half hour, including the question that Barbara has asked, which is really a loaded question about health readings. Okay, so let me scroll through, starting at the beginning, and we're going to start with Erica. Would love a reading on how things are with my guy friend. So that's an interesting question, because are we asking, how is he doing? Is he okay? Or are we asking, how is the relationship going? That's an interesting question. And, that's my question for you readers, too. How much, when someone asks a question, how much do you need it to, sort of be a specific focus? If it could go in a number of different directions, do you need to narrow it down and find out specifically what the question is? Or do you just say the question and interpret the answer in whatever context it feels like and let that be that? It's an interesting question. Erica, I'm going to ask you to be more specific. Are we asking how things are going in his life, or are we asking about the relationship? Okay, so let's go to Leisha. What does the universe want Leisha to know? If you would like to read for him, put his name, Leisha, Leisha, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What does the universe want Leisha to know? You are the King of Swords. Okay, Erica, I got that. We'll do you next. You are the King of Swords, Leisha. You are a leader. Speak your truth, do the right thing, and recognize that you are respected. Okay, so now we're going to go back and we're going to go to Erica. If you would like to read for Erica, go ahead and put her name, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. She's wondering how her relationship is going. Let's take a look. 9 of Pentacles. That's very interesting. It's a positive card for sure. However, it speaks more to the individual than to the relationship. So definitely scroll through and see what other people say, but let me share these thoughts. Number 1, if you have a tendency toward personal insecurity, this relationship may bring up some of that for you. And you may need to be careful about that. You may need to work through those issues on your own. Number 2, this is a card that can speak to family stuff. And so it's important to look at his family and what he learned about relationships from his family, and your family and what you learned about relationships from your family. And how does that impact the way the two of you are dealing with each other? Hey, Neil, nice to see you here. Okay, next question. Scrolling down. Okay, Karen Winkle. I was contacted by someone who suggested I apply for this new job. How do prospects look for this job? As a fit, and will I be able to get it? What do you think? Is this a good new job for Karen? Will she get it? What do you think? Let's see what I got. And if you'd like to read for her, definitely we tend to get a few people named Karen. No joke about Karens, because our Karens are the best. So definitely put her last name, Karen Winkle. Okay. Karen Winkle, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. The King of Cups reversed. I encourage you to apply for this, but there may be ways that it's not going to happen or not going to be a good fit. But nothing ventured, nothing gained. You might as well try. Barbara Ann, nice to see you. Zuri, nice to see you. Let's go to Julie Barrett. What does the universe want Julie to know? If you would like to read for Julie, go ahead and put her name, Julie, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What does the universe want Julie to know? 5 of Cups. There has been some loss. There has been some difficulty. There has been some emotional stuff going on here. Honor what you're feeling. Honor what's going on, but also remember that there may be some moments where things feel a lot worse than they really are. And so honor how you feel, but don't live there because it's okay. It really is. Okay, Barbara Ann, ask a question. Ask a question. This is Global Tarot Circle. We do not have a specific question in mind as we often do in my daytime lives. So go ahead and ask a question, even if it is, what would the universe like me to know? Alicia, what do I need to know to prepare for my upcoming 3-hour interview with a job I hope to get? Well, first of all, the fact that they're going to put you through the 3-hour interview is a very, very good sign. And if you'd like to read for Alicia, go ahead and put her name, Alicia Cassie, the name of the card you got in your interpretation. And remember, too, that if you ask a question, you got to scroll through to get your full reading. Ooh, this is good, this is good, this is good. Okay, what you need to know with the 6 of Wands is that you have what it takes to get this job. You want to be confident, obviously not cocky, but you want to go in confident and you want to go in excited for these 3 hours where you can learn about them, where they can learn about you, and where you can demonstrate your knowledge and your lived experience that shows why you would be a real winner in this job and why you could be, in fact, the winning candidate. Kimberly Essex, nice to see you. Glad you're here. Okay, Marion Kirk. What does the universe want Marion to know? If you'd like to read for her, go ahead. Hey, Jenny Hope, haven't seen you in a long time. Good to see you. Kendra, glad you're here. Okay, for Marion, what does the universe want Marion to know? If you would like to read for Marion, go ahead and put her name, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. 7 of Swords reversed. Trust yourself. Trust yourself, trust your skills, trust your abilities, trust your insights, trust your intuition. Trust yourself. Okay, Heidi Webster, if you would like to read for Heidi, go ahead and put her name in, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Would it be beneficial for me to be a reader at a local psychic fair? Okay, let's see what we got. Heck yeah, absolutely. 10 of Pentacles, this is your home turf. You have the ability, you have the blessing of your ancestors. You could even make some money. This would be very good for you, especially if you actually want to launch a business. Okay, Barbara Ann, what does the universe want me to know? If you would like to read for her, go ahead and put her name, Barbara Ann, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What does the universe want Barbara Ann to know? Death reversed. Look at the ways in which you are stuck and don't want to be. Look at the things that you are doing that you're happy with. Keep what you like, get rid of what you don't. Melanie, what does the universe want Melanie to know? If you'd like to read for Melanie, go ahead and put her name, Melanie, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What does the universe want Melanie to know? Melanie, 10 of Wands. Seems like you might be carrying some heavy burdens. My question to you is how much of what you're carrying is necessary and how much is not? How much of this is what you have to do or feel like you need to do? How much are you doing for others when they could in fact be doing for themselves? And how much of this is just old emotional stuff that doesn't serve you anymore? You need to really look at that and let go of what doesn't serve you. Lisa McCord, happy to see you. How can I best prepare for the challenges that lie ahead at work? If you'd like to read for her, go ahead and put her name, Lisa McCord, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. How can I best prepare for the challenges at work? Page of Wands reversed. It feels like there may be something going on here having to do with the challenges that make you feel, and maybe it's particular people there too, that make you feel like your voice isn't heard or your voice isn't worthwhile. Pick and choose your battles, but don't let anyone make you feel less than or not valued. You got to watch out. There are some things here that could really psych you out. And how well you do, I think, will be determined by your ability to not let them psych you out. Jessica Rivera, nice to see you here. What does the universe want me to know about my work life? If you'd like to read for her, go ahead and put her name, Jessica Rivera, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What does the universe want her to know about her work life? Ooh, Two of Cups reversed. It may be the entire position. It may be a particular person you work with or for, but there is something here that is not a great fit. You may or may not be able to do anything about it, but recognize what's going on there and try to work with it or around it. Dave Victor, I did something for the first time. I did a reading by phone without consulting the book for card meanings. Bareback, woot! Working without a net. I wasn't that satisfied with the reading, but it's a first for me. Congratulations. And I'd love to know, first of all, did your client seem satisfied? Number one. And number two, why were you not satisfied? Because I know you're a damn good psychic. So, just saying. Hey, Deirdre, nice to see you here. Lots of great readings going on. Let's read for Deirdre. What does the next few months have in store for me? If you would like to read for Deirdre, go ahead and put her name in, Deirdre Martin, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Nine of Pentacles. This looks good financially. It looks happy. I believe you're going to be moving sometime in that time frame, and I think that's going to be very good. This is a very, very positive card and speaks to positive things going forward in terms of your sense of security. Okay, and thank you everyone for participating, for doing these readings. This is Kimberly answering the question about if the question seems vague, what do you do with it? Kimberly says, when I don't ask for clarification, I usually tell them all sorts of things I couldn't have known that they confirm is true, but they wanted to know something they didn't already know. So I ask for clarification before starting. Yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely. Okay. Karen Maynard, nice to see you. Again, lots of great readings going on. Missy Lowe, what does the universe want me to know? If you'd like to read for her, go ahead and put her name, Missy Lowe, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. And Missy is getting married in September. It's going to be a Zoom wedding, which I know is not what you wanted. But what you wanted was to be married, and that part's going to happen, and I think it's going to be wonderful. So, what does the universe want Missy to know? King of Pentacles. Things will be stable, things will be okay financially, and I think you're marrying a great guy, but you knew I thought that. Okay. Okay, Betty. What does the universe think I need to do next on my tarot journey? What a great question. If you would like to read for her, Betty Shannon Flesher, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What does the universe think I need to do next on my tarot journey? You are the third person to get this card, but of course it's a different interpretation each time. Be confident. Be confident in your ability. In your ability to do readings, in your ability to know the cards, and in the ability to have spirit and your ancestors speak through you. Hey, Jeannie Layton, nice to see you. What's the universe got in store for me? I know it's been a little difficult for you recently. I know that your husband's been having some health issues. So let's take a look. If you'd like to read for her, Jeannie Layton, the name of the card you got, your interpretation. Six of Swords, I think things are getting better. Don't get caught up in sort of upsetting emotionalism. Just do logic, do what the doctors say, do what you need to do, one foot in front of the other. And I think you will discover that things are moving forward and going well. There's improvement here. Okay, lots of great readings going on. Sharon Steck, nice to see you. Last week you recommended communication as advice for a new relationship. I'm open, him not so much. Will there be common ground soon? Okay. If you would like to read for Shauna, the name is Shauna Steck. Question is about the relationship. Is there going to be communication? What's going to happen there? Go ahead and put her name, Shauna Stack, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What do we see for Shauna and her relationship? The Hermit. This is not my favorite card for romance. I'm going to tell you that. It may be that this is not a good fit. I don't see any reason not to hang in there and try. But recognize between the two of you, you are probably the more intelligent, at least on an emotional level. And so recognize that that's a thing. So I wouldn't be buying the wedding dress yet. Let's put it that way. Jenny Hope, so happy to see you. What is the most important thing I can do right now to move forward with my endeavor? If you would like to read for Jenny, go ahead and put her name, Jenny Hope, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What do we see for Jenny? Jenny, the world's reversed. Recognize that it's going to take some time. Recognize as you go forward that you can't possibly anticipate every pitfall or every problem or every issue. Go forward, be patient. It is a good idea. And let's turn this card right side up to welcome the energy and the possibility of this being incredibly successful for you. Kendra, a general card. Okay, so in the interest of time, because we're running out of time for this section, I will rename that question, what does the universe want me to know? So for Kendra, if you would like to read for her, what does the universe want Kendra to know? Her name, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. The High Priestess. Don't be too much of a perfectionist. I think you might be a little hard on yourself right now. Also, listen to your intuition and do everything you can to find your balance. Okay. Lots of great readings going on here. Neil, my wife's cousin's son died in the Venice car accident. I am so sorry to hear this. That's horrifying. I'm terribly sorry. Had he passed before the accident? What an interesting question. If you would like to offer some information here for Neil. His name, Neil Quatrano, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What do we think about time of death? Had he passed away before the accident actually occurred? There was definitely a lot going on here. Let's put it that way. I wonder if some kind of substance, alcohol, drugs, something of that, or some kind of other health issue was happening here. So I cannot say for sure. The way this card appears, I am not sure that he had, but I do feel like there were other issues here. Let's put it that way. And again, I am so sorry for your loss. Okay, Marianne. Ew, here's a fun one. Is my husband hiding something in regards to our divorce settlement? So if you'd like to read for Marianne Marino Pagano, go ahead and put her name, the name of the cards you got, and your interpretation. And Neil confirms that there were some issues with substance. And so something was going to get him. You know, that's the thing. What happened, the way it happened might have been avoidable, but what happened was unavoidable. And I am so sorry. Okay, Marianne Marina Papagano. Let's see. Is my husband hiding something? The moon. Absolutely, positively, yes, I believe that he is. And it is in your best interest to figure out what it is. Lots of great readings going on here. Claire Carter. What does the universe want Claire to know? If you would like to read for Claire, go ahead and put her name, Claire Carter, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Claire, man, the world is yours. You have the skills, the ability, the knowledge, the space, the financial backing. You have everything you need to go anywhere and pretty much within reason, do whatever you want to do. And that's like a new thing for you. I don't think you're used to being in that situation. And yet it feels like right now you are. Now, that is not permission to spend indiscriminately, but it is permission to see yourself in a place of power that you have built for yourself and figure out what you want to do with it. Gayleen Fallon, so nice to see you. What does the universe want Gayleen to know? If you would like to read for her name, Gayleen Fallon, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. The Queen of Wands. What a wonderful time for you to use your intuition, your creativity, for you to find your own power as a creator, as an intuitive, for you to pursue your passions. This is a great space and time of power for you. And thank you, everyone, for participating and sharing readings. That is like the best thing. We're doing this 3 times a month now. Once here on Facebook and twice on YouTube. And to be honest with you, of course, I will keep the Global Tarot Circle group on Facebook, but I'm considering moving this to YouTube too, because the technology is a little bit better there. Love to hear you ring in on that, if that's okay, if that's not okay, what do you think? But the point is, 3 times a month now, we get together, we do this informal study, and we do this speed reading together. And I think it is just a great way for us to share with each other and learn from each other and help each other. Andrea Pagano, can you tell me more about my love life? Do you feel I'm currently speaking with the man I'm going to end up with? That's an interesting thing. So, if you would like to read for Andrea, go ahead and put her name, Andrea Pagano, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. King of Pentacles. He's a good guy. The future really is up to you, but I think it's definitely worth considering and definitely worth talking to and talking about. Okay, very good. And Shauna says, this is fun. I love that you're incorporating everyone's gifts and knowledge. Yeah, it's something that we invented way back on WebEx many, many years ago. Then we moved it to YouTube. As I said, we are doing this twice a month on YouTube. And we do this once a month here. And a lot of people seem to like YouTube better. And I think I do too. So we can keep the Global Tarot Circle group here on Facebook where we can share our links and discuss what we do and all of that. But what if we did 3 meetings and 2 classes a month on YouTube? Would that be weird? Would that be okay? Tell me what you think. And then here on Facebook, I'll keep on doing my regular lives, your 3-card weekly reading, the newsletter recap, weekly wrap-up, Saturday Psychic Sampler. I'll keep on doing those right here on YouTube. So tell me what you think about all that. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. TK, it's nice to see you getting in right under the wire. My question is, when am I going to Canada? Getting anxious about it. Yeah, man, I'm sure it will happen at the last minute. But I know that it's a concern. Okay, and Betty says, I'd love more meetings and classes, more the better. Very good. Everyone is really sharing the love for YouTube here. YouTube more straightforward. So guess what? I'm just going to make this call right now. Sorry, dropped card, but it was the King of Swords. The Knight of Swords, excuse me. We're going to move to YouTube. Starting next month, Global Tarot Circle will be on like a Wednesday evening on YouTube. But we'll keep the Facebook group here. So if you're not a member of the Global Tarot Circle Facebook group, please do join. Okay, TK. When is TK going to Canada? If you'd like to read for him, Karen TK, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Oh, 10 of Cups. I don't know when, but you're going. You're going. I think it's going to be right at the last minute, but you're going. Okay. Okay, now, David, the bareback reading I did. The querent seemed satisfied. I felt it went quickly, about half an hour. I usually take an hour for a full 10-card Celtic cross. I kept feeling, I wonder if there's more that I'm not accessing here. Okay, let me take a break from reading for one moment to address that, because I think it is, I think this is really significant, because I've had that feeling too in a reading. I know there's more. But you know what? You have to trust what Marcus Katz calls the oracular moment. You have to trust what Walt Amberstone says, which is that the universe brings the right querent with the right question to the right reader with the right deck of cards at the right moment. So whatever happened in the space of that reading was what needed to happen. In another time and place, might you have gotten something different or something more out of those cards? Certainly. But in that time and space, the right thing happened, and you have to trust that. And I've been getting a lot of questions recently about confidence. How do we stay confident as readers? And I think that's the important thing, is to trust the magic of that oracular moment. Okay, lots of great questions and answers. I appreciate everyone for participating. Okay, we're coming to the end of our readings. Hey, Roxanne, nice to see you. We're coming to the end of our readings, and we're going to be starting our workshop session. Karen DuPont Porter, you're here. I haven't even gotten to you, but people are reading for you. So make sure you scroll through and see your reading. I'll try to get to you before we close. I'm just trying to get to the last few. Karen Maynard, how is my legal thing going? If you would like to read for Karen Maynard, go ahead and going to go. How's my legal thing going to go? If you would like to read for Karen Maynard, thank you very much, Barbara Ann. I appreciate that. If you'd like to read for Karen Maynard, go ahead and put her name, Karen Maynard, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. How's the legal thing going to go? The world, it will be resolved, and I think in your favor. Okay. Just scrolling through here. Jeannie says things are moving forward. Johnny's getting stronger every day. Hallelujah. He has been in all of our prayers. Here we go. Karen DuPont Porter. Pulling a card for you. This is what does the universe want Karen DuPont Porter to know? And if you'd like to read for her and have not yet, go ahead and put her name, Karen DuPont Porter, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Knight of Pentacles, a new job coming soon. Probably not as soon as you wish, but it is coming. Okay, so we are getting ready to switch gears here. Let's see. Tina Beatty Beach. So again, what does the universe want Tina to know? If you'd like to read for Tina, go ahead and put her name, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What does the universe want her to know? Nine of Swords reversed. Whatever's bugging you, whatever's on your mind, whoever pissed in your Cheerios, it's going to be okay. I'm not trying to make light of what might be a difficult situation, but I am saying you may be taking it too heavy. Okay. So at this point, if we did not get to you for a reading, I do apologize. If you are finishing up some readings, by all means do. And if people are reading for you, please go through and scroll and read. These tarot meetups online do require a certain amount of multitasking for all of us, which I think is a good practice because tarot reading itself is a multitasking venture, isn't it? And here is from Marion regarding confidence and being off book for Dave. When I feel a bit like that, I remember the phrase that sometimes less is more. Well done reading without the book. The more you do it, the more confidence will increase. Very good. Okay, so we have a few things to get through in the next 25 minutes. And I want to start with Barbara O'Brien's question. What she mentioned is that especially during COVID, people have a lot of health issues, body, mind, and spirit. And she wants to know how we should handle that. And I know that there are some readers who are like, I don't read about health at all. And I recognize we are not doctors. We cannot give diagnoses. Even if we see something difficult, we should not scare people. But I also think that if you're reading for the whole person, there are things that can come up around health, especially when we are, in a time of a pandemic. So I'm very comfortable doing the 3-card body, mind, spirit reading, just to see how are you doing and what can you do to take better care of yourself. And there are some cards that come up that do make me think about health issues, and I will send people to the doctor. And I also have clients who are going through very, very serious health issues where we work together. I don't give the medical advice. I am the spiritual advisor as they go through their medical issues. And so I think if we remember our place, I think it is appropriate to tackle these things, but always in a way that is comforting, always in a way that is healing, and always in a way that defers to appropriate medical advice. What do you folks think? What are your thoughts on how we deal with health questions, how we deal when health issues show up in a reading? How do you deal with that? I would love to hear some thoughts. Okay. Now, the next question that came up is from Alicia Cassie. I'm so happy to have her here doing readings. And it was about yes-no questions. How do you handle yes-no questions? And I would love to hear your thoughts on that. And so if you want to type in some thoughts, definitely label, because we're talking about a number of different things. So if you have something to say about health readings, label it health readings. If you have something to say about yes-no, label it yes-no questions. And, there are people who say, well, tarot's just not good for yes-no questions. You should always rephrase the question. So rather than, will I get a job? Or should I quit smoking? Say, what do I need to know in order to get a job? Or what do I need to know about my tobacco addiction? That's one way to do it. There are numerous sorts of spreads and techniques for yes-no. Some people swear by them, some people don't. If you have a particular yes-no technique that you like, please go ahead and share it here. We'd love to see it. Elizabeth Brocker, nice to see you. You saw a lot of health in my reading, both emotional and physical, and it helped a lot, you talking with me about it. Right. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. Dave, when I perceive health issues, first I emphasize that I'm not a doctor, but I encourage them to talk to their choice of healthcare professional about what I'm getting. Yes. Hey, Carol, nice to see you here. Heidi, my first response about health readings is that I'm not a doctor and can't diagnose. I will advise them to speak to a healthcare professional for specific questions. Absolutely. Okay, here, Irene, for yes, no, pull a card for each choice. So this is what happens if you do. This is what happens if you don't, right? Or this is I get the job. This is I don't get the job, right? That's a way to do it. I do it that way. Absolutely. Alicia, health readings. I find that most of the health readings I do, I tend to see the emotional, mental health really rise. I specifically have an oracle deck I pull out if I'm noticing a lot of emotions in my readings. The deck I use helps to hone in specifically on that one area. Not sure how I would feel about physical health readings, but mental health I will feel comfortable with, sure. Julie, medical. If I see it, I tell them, and if they ask, I'll see what I can find. Same. Usually the seriousness is pretty clear. I see it like any other question, but in a way, emotional stuff is what we are always dealing with. It's like going to therapy. People want to talk things out and have a listening ear. Absolutely, and I have a lot of people clients who refer to me as their therapist. And I try to be very clear. I don't have the licensure. I don't have the training. If we're dealing with a clinical issue, I refer to a therapist. But if I feel like what's going on is within the scope of my practice, with those caveats, I'm happy to do it. Absolutely. So, yes, no. Another thing I do is I just ask the question and I pull one card. And if the one card answers it, great. If the one card doesn't answer it, I'll pull some more cards just to see what does it say. It may not answer it, but it gives more information. So what other information am I gleaning about it? Then I'll rephrase the question based on the information I got and eventually come up with an answer with the understanding that not every question is answerable. Not every future thing is predictable. Not every advice is given by the cards. The cards always have something wise to say, but they're not necessarily going to answer every question. Heidi, for health issues, therapists, etc., do you have a list of local doctors that you will refer to? I try to, especially with therapists. I try to have that, yes. Karen Winkle, for yes, no. Shuffle and pull cards in a stack until you reach 12 cards or an ace. Start a new stack. Repeat for 4 stacks. If you get 4 aces before reaching the 12 cards in each stack, it's yes. 3, probably yes. 2, maybe yes. 1, probably no. 0, definitely. That's good. Okay, Alicia, what are the thoughts around using an upright for yes and reversed for no? I know a lot of people who do it. I don't really have thoughts about it. I don't do it. I think you have to kind of play with it and see what works for you. Marion, health readings. On this occasion, I was the one getting a reading, and the reader told me very directly to go to get my thyroid checked. I did, and it was so overactive, I was close to having a heart attack due to the strain on my heart. Would I be that specific in a reading? Probably not, but I would suggest if a client is feeling unwell to get checked out. Yeah, I do have a handful of people, and this is the thing about health. I'll share a real personal thing with you. I have a handful, probably more than a handful of people who credit me with saving their lives, just as the situation with Marion was, where right place, right time, you tell someone to get to a doctor in time, it makes a huge difference, right? However, my own mother was stage 4 with lung cancer when she was diagnosed. You would think for my own mother I would have seen it earlier. And I spent so long feeling guilty about that. How is it I could not have seen it? Well, of course, I was too close, number 1. Number 2, she didn't come for a reading. And number 3, sometimes we know and sometimes we don't know. Even reading for a client, it may be there and you may not see it. I think there is some sense of destiny, some sense of higher power's presence that says, let's tell this person this thing, and this person is not to know this thing yet. So there's all of that. Okay, let's see. Jill Watson, yes, no. I do 3 stacks. If the ace comes up in 2 out of 3, it's a yes. So very similar to Karen's thing. Barbara Ann, health and mental health issues. I share my intuitions and tell them to validate it with their physician and or therapist. Exactly. So, one thing that's coming up here is refer. Same with legal issues. We can ring in, but make sure you see an attorney, right? Always go to the right expert. Always refer to the right expert. Alicia, for those talking about doing stacks for yes and no, do you cut the deck where it feels natural or try to make it even? Good question. Jill Watson, my intuition picks up health issues, but instead of telling them outright, I advise them to get a checkup. Sure. Okay, Karen's hoping for a health reading. If anyone would like to pull a card and read for Karen DuPont Porter about her health, go ahead and do that. And let's go forward. That's a lot of good information. And if anyone wants to answer Alicia's question, doing stacks for yes or no, do you cut the deck where it feels natural or try to make it even? That's a very good question. Okay, so those are some great conversations. So I've got one, and this is deeper. This is deeper than we're going to handle in this time period. I am just playing with something that I think is going to turn into a longer workshop. So, I do use these things to sort of pilot different things and float different things. Sometimes things work better than others. And there are some answers coming through here for the yes and no stuff. So make sure you check all of that out. So here's the thing. We know that the cards are archetypes. And we know that we tend to address archetypes based on our own experience. So if the Empress is mom, is your mother, I think a lot of people who did not have good mother experiences see the Empress differently than people who had good mothering experiences, good experiences with their mother. Same with the Emperor. A lot of people don't like the Emperor, and a lot of times those are people who did not have very good fathers. And so my question is this. Do you personally find that your connection to a particular card is in some way informed by your relationship with its archetype in your life? So, for example, if you had a great mother, you love the Empress. If you did not have a great mother, the Empress has a less good feel for you, or Father Emperor, or any other thing. If you had a really tough childhood, is the Fool a harder card for you? If you had trauma in the past, is the Six of Cups a harder card for you? And Karen Winkle says, yes, hate the Emperor hard when you're an Aries. And so, is it possible? Because in this deck of cards, ostensibly, every possible life situation is in these cards. And not everyone, and Karen, there's your health reading from Dave. Go ahead and take a look. Not everyone is going to have everything, right? We all get some subset of these in our lives. Julie says, archetypes, yes, totally. King of Cups means a drunk to me, but other people love it. Emperor is bad husbands. Right. So, and Melanie says, yes, I dislike Six of Cups. Trauma, power imbalance, absolutely. Heidi says, the Emperor is hard for me. I'm learning to appreciate it more from reading more and looking more deeply into the card. Yes. And so here's my question. And again, expect us to be talking about this in other meetings because I'm working on something here, and you guys are always my guinea pigs. Think about something that you want or wanted in your life that you did not have. A happy childhood, a great father, a great job, plenty of money. Something that you wanted and did not have. And find the card, not at random, but by looking through it. Find the card that would represent what you didn't have. And so what did I not have? I've had such a blessed life. But let's see. What do I not have? You know what card I struggle with? The Hierophant, because I am not always great at having discipline, and the Hierophant really is a card of discipline. So find a card that represents something that you don't have but would like to have more of. And what could you do with this card? You can't change your life, you can't change your past, but you can change your relationship. And maybe you can find some healing this way. Claire says the Hierophant too bothers me because of abuses caused by organized religion. Holier than thou, fundamentalist, pushing me. Exactly. Right. Marion used to see the Hermit as being abandoned and ignored because I assume that's been a thing in your life, being abandoned and ignored. So, what if you take this card and you do a meditation with it? And, I often say for people who did not have good mother experiences to make a relationship with the Divine Mother to sort of heal that. Those who did not have good father relationships, to make a good relationship with the Divine Father. Can we make a relationship with these archetypes in a way of healing that? Karen Winkle says Three of Cups, inclusion in groups. So can you take the Three of Cups? Can you meditate with it? Can you breathe it into your heart and heal that? Can we use these cards to heal the missing archetypes? And that's what I'm playing with. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. What would be a way to do it? Do we meditate with it? Do we write about it? Do we try to manifest that? Dave says, both the Hermit and the Hanged Man disturbed me because of abandonment issues and generally being treated shabbily everywhere I went. Right. Melanie says, I miss never having a partner. Two of Cups is that card, but I like the card. So, when we talk about our bad relationships with particular cards, I think that tells us where our issues might be, not always, but sometimes. And I think it is important for us to heal the relationship with the card because what it means for us, it may be something different for someone else. But, Kimberly, is there a pagan version of the Divine Father? Oh, absolutely. Every male god that you can think of. I would specifically go to Cernunnos, personally, because I tend to do the Celtic thing, but also Lu. Of course, any of them, Odin, they're all, most of the gods tend to be fathers of someone or other. So whichever pantheon you prefer, there it is. Sure, the sun god, absolutely, absolutely. Barbara O'Brien, Queen of Cups. I lacked emotional love and understanding, felt emotionally abandoned. And so I think there's two things here. One is we do need to heal our relationship with these cards because ideally to be a good reader, I think we need to see every card as having possible positive meanings and possible negative meanings depending on context. And if we have one card that always hits us in a particular way, we're not going to be able to utilize that card as well as we could in divination. But can we also use these archetypes to heal ourselves? Lisa McCord says, make that your significator card and then design a spread around it. Oh, very well done. What a great job. Oh, what a great idea. Julie says, this is such a great point. Look at the cards that trigger you, not the ones you feel good about, even though you didn't have the thing. Right, absolutely. So I think there's a lot of different exercises in this. And I think we'll be playing with this over the next few months as I figure out sort of how that works. So there's a couple of things. One is what Julie said. Look at what card triggers you. What card do you really not like? And see what's in that for you. Or do the other thing, think about what you are missing and which card goes with that. So, so there's a lot there. And then the question is, once you figure out what that card is, what do you do with it? I like meditate with it. I like breathe with it. I like even doing a meditation where you can have a conversation with them. I love what Lisa McCord said, make that the significator and then design a spread around it. What a great idea. So we are in our last 7 minutes here for the evening. At this point, any comments or questions about anything we've talked about or any other tarot-related questions, go ahead and share them. This is also the time for shameless self-promotion. If you have a link that you want to share, your Insta, your Facebook, your URL, a blog post, anything you've got coming up, a book that you've written, go ahead and share it in the comments. Let's support each other. I will do my shameless self-promotion verbally. Of course, every month I put out the Tarot Topics Weekly, every week, every Wednesday. I put out the Tarot Topics Weekly newsletter. If you are not subscribed, of course, you can see it here on my Facebook page, but you can also go to my website, christianagodet.com, and subscribe. On Thursdays, I go live right here on my Facebook business page, and we do the newsletter recap, which includes some readings having to do with the topic of the newsletter. Now, next time on YouTube, Sunday, August 9th, that's this Sunday, Cards and Conversation on YouTube, 4 p.m. This is the meetup that replaces our Panera meetup. It's an hour and a half, very similar to what we're doing here, just longer. Kimberly, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being here. Let's just see what's going on here. Marion, this can be used as part of shadow work too. Interview the card, ask it questions, and then meditate to hear the answers. Very good. Dave says, this is great therapy, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay, Heidi has started doing weekly readings on Facebook. Check it out. Okay, everyone drop your links, drop your YouTube, drop all of that. If you do not subscribe to my YouTube channel, please do. Christiana Gaudet on YouTube. Let's see what else we've got here. Jill, just want to let everyone know that my book is out with 6 editors at 2 publishing houses, and 3 of them so far requested the full manuscript. Congratulations. Very, very good. That is so good. Christina Marie, just getting back into learning how to read, and I'd love some advice on resources on how to develop the ability to tell the story while reading the cards. You know, not to toot my own horn, but I have to recommend my book, Tarot Tour Guide. I spend a lot of time working with that concept. You can get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Tarot Tour Guide. And I'd love to hear anyone else's resources as well. Okay, Claire Carter. On 2 different mornings, I drew 3 major arcana cards for my morning spread. What does this mean? I think, whenever there's major arcana cards, I think pay attention. Really listen to your guides. Recognize that you're in the place that you're in a place of spiritual grace and that you are learning spiritual lessons. Okay, top 5. At top 5 publishing houses. So good. That is so exciting, Jill. You've been working on that for as long as I've known you, and I've always known you were going to have success. Very good. Very good. Betty, I asked my cards, what is the card that represents something I missed out as a child? 8 of Cups. Maybe my father passing away when I was 4, he was alcoholic. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate that. Yeah, good call. And Denise, thanks for the love for Tarot Tour Guide. I appreciate that. Okay, so I want to let everyone know that our premium class this month is going to be Wednesday, August 26th, 7 p.m. It's on Zoom. It's $37.50. It's a 2-hour class. You can get your tickets in the events here on Facebook or on my website, christianagaudet.com. Just go to the events. Sharing Wisdom Reading for Others is the name of the class. So if you're looking to develop more confidence as a tarot reader, this is a great class to take wherever you are in your tarot reading journey. So I want to thank you all for being here. We still have 2 minutes, so go ahead and drop your links and your questions. Please like this video. Please share this video. If you have not liked my page here, Christiana Gaudet, please do. I would appreciate that. And remember StarCon. Go to starcon.com and read all about it. StarCon has 2 A's, STAARCON. You can also join the StarCon group here on Facebook and like the StarCon page and get ready for the StarCast, which is going to be our new podcast coming out twice a month. So get ready for that. I also want to remind you I am available for readings by phone, Skype, FaceTime, Messenger, Zoom, Duo, WhatsApp, you name it, we'll do it, smoke signals, whatever. I am also available for mentoring, whether you're looking for personal growth, whether you're looking to learn the cards, or whether you are looking to take that next step in starting a business or making your business more successful. I can help you. So reach out for that. And Betty says, I watched your video with Benabel Wen. Loved it. Yes. And she is one of our headlining speakers at StarCon. So how great is that? Thank you, everyone. Thanks for participating. Thanks for sharing in this energy. Oh, final question. What are your favorite decks? For actual reading, what I call my workhorse decks, they are all weight-based. As weight decks go, I like the Smith-Waite Centennial. This is the small one that comes in the tin. I like Hanson Roberts. I like Spiral Tarot. I like Crystal Visions. I like Morgan Greer. But they're all weight-based. I am definitely a weight reader. Okay. Folks, thank you so much. Join us on Sunday. And, find me here tomorrow for the Tarot Topics newsletter recap. Thanks so much. I'll look forward to seeing you.